Sure. What episode is this again?
7.
Episode 7 of TRC. Big week of college football that we had, a big week ahead of us. The big name is gone, too. That has been a topic of our conversation. That is James Franklin, fellas, out of the Penn State job. Just to give you a little heads up what we're doing today, the breakdown. We'll recap some of the games. Want to get some analysis. Dak wearing his LSU gear, got a big game up in Nashville. They went against South Carolina. They got the win, but not the happiest of wins. Obviously, Michigan, USC happened, and other big games all across the country. And then we're going to talk about the coaching carousel. It's beginning right now. Want to get some hot takes, too, if there's some hot seats. Because this might be the craziest coaching carousel we've seen. I don't even know. I mean, some of these job openings are already crazy, fellas.
At least like this early on, this has got to be the craziest one, and we'll get to the hot seat, right? But I think one person that I just saw like a few hours ago, his seat's not even hot. Rumor is he's just already gone. Basically, is Billy Napier. So Florida's about to be open. Yeah, I said this weekend's it. Like it's done. They're letting them go after this weekend. So we'll see. But that one might be another job that's open. But if you have Florida open, Penn State and Arkansas, those are all open before the season's even done. It's crazy.
Yeah, a couple things before we dive in deep here. One, I just want to say I want to know RIP to James Franklin, because he, outside of one guy being Brian Kelly, most talked about person on this show.
For sure.
So RIP James Franklin, you will not be missed, but I will miss the laughs that we got to have from having you in the Big Ten. I'll miss the laughs, but that's about it. Won't miss seeing you every weekend. Second thing is, according to Dak, it is not a big game for LSU this weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
That. Yeah. When you said LSU's got a big game, I was going to let you finish, but no, I wouldn't call it a huge game.
You don't think a game that you're not favored in is a huge game against a ranked opponent in the SEC?
I will say two things. Incorrectly not favored.
Well, I'm going to point out ESPN matchup predictor, which
ESPN matchup predictor on crack. Let's talk about ESPN matchup predictor for Michigan USC. Michigan was favored. Yeah,
that was right.
Michigan is not favored against USC. That is incorrect.
Well, on DraftKings, they were favored.
USC, the matchup predictor has gotten Michigan's entire schedule right so far.
Not from the get-go. They were only not the ESPN predictor. They would have only had one loss the entire season.
From when the first game was played. The matchup predictors. Yeah. And there's been a lot of games played since we checked the Vanderbilt LSU ESPN matchup predictor.
I would love to go back and look ESPN matchup predictor for every single game. I bet you it's not right. It's not a big game in the sense of like this is just a game that LSU should be able to, if they're legit and they should actually go to the playoff, which I still think they are capable of doing, and they have the talent to do it. They should be able to go into this game and just take care of business. It's an 11 a.m. game in Nashville against a Vanderbilt team that a lot of folks like, but they don't have a bunch of huge wins. Their biggest win is against South Carolina without Lenore Seller. Their second biggest win is against Virginia Tech, whose head coach is gone. I know people love Diego Pavia. It's a super fun story, but we should be able to go in, take care of business. We should be able to move the football. Everything's fine and dandy. Our big games are the ones coming up in Texas A&M, in Alabama, and in Oklahoma. Those are the big games that you need. This is a middle of the road part of the schedule.
I'll make a bet with you if you want. Right now on the show.
A live TRC bet. All right.
Not money, but to be honest, I did think LSU was going to win when I first saw the slate against Vanderbilt. But how confident you are, now it's making me think they're going to lose. The fact that you don't even think it's a big game. So
it's not a big game. No disrespect to Vanderbilt, but it's Vanderbilt at 11 a.m.
You totally are disrespecting Vanderbilt. You are.
Okay, but Vanderbilt also, to be fair, Vanderbilt also, they came out today and they're like, we're ready to show what our defense can do. We've been itching for a shutout. They're not going to score. So Vanderbilt seems pretty confident.
Where your mouth is. So you saying if Vanderbilt loses to LSU,
Yeah.
I will make my Instagram profile picture Brian Kelly's headshot for an entire week. And if Vanderbilt beats LSU, you have to make Diego Pavia's ESPN headshot your profile picture for the entire week.
How about we make it a month?
Wow.
I'll go 2 weeks. I'll go 2 weeks.
All right, you got a deal. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Right.
That's fair.
Through
All
the
right.
rest of October.
Sure. Yeah, rest of October. You got a deal. That's fine.
All right.
Yeah,
And I'd like it to be known, I'm not even like overly confident in this LSU team at this point. I think they're really close to completely figuring it out on offense. I just think when you look at the rest of the schedule, if LSU came into the season with playoff expectations and after Clemson was hoping to win a national championship, if you look at the rest of the schedule, this should just be an everyday run-of-the-mill game for you where you can go in, take care of business, and don't blow it out of proportion. It's not like you're going to play Alabama. It's not the biggest game in the world. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I get it. I just think that with Vanderbilt, like they played well. I know the score didn't indicate it. They had last touchdown at the end there. They played pretty well against Alabama. I mean, Alabama was winning most of that game in a tough environment. You got to play there. Now, the stadium's not big, and I bet you there's going to be a lot of LSU fans there as well in Nashville. But I'm just saying, like, they're favored for a reason. I sent my parlay of destiny, and I did have LSU money line.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, take the points if you're not feeling great about it, just in general. But I do think that you're giving them not as much credit as they deserve. They're a decent team, and like you're right, their resume. But what's LSU's best win? Yeah, we can play that game if you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not trying to hate on LSU. This doesn't mean that they can't. If they lose this game, then playoff, I think hopes are out, and that's why there's a little bit scared. Their offense just has sucked, and you'd be the first one to say that. So I think this Vanderbilt defense is better than it was last year. And Diego Pavia, he's a gamer. He's playing better than us right now. So I'll just say that. I get what you're saying. It's Vanderbilt if you are the team you're supposed to be. But call it out is, Dak. You'd be the one to say this, and I want to hear from you. They haven't been the team they're supposed to be. The defense has been great, but that offense has sucked. It's been awful.
It's been bad. I said 2 weeks ago I was giving up. And
you're all over the map.
I have. Listen, I have given up. I'm not investing the same amount as what I have in the past. That's different. Like when I say that, it's in terms of like I'm not going to now expect this team to go into Tuscaloosa and win that game, and we're going to go win a national championship. It's not all like sunshine and rainbows and daisies, But we're not terrible, and Vanderbilt is still a game that you can win. The offense has been really bad because we can't run the ball, because the offensive line has not been great. I'm telling you, they were so close to opening it up against South Carolina. They were, to put it into perspective, we only scored 20 points, which looks bad on paper. They were 1 for 5 scoring touchdowns inside the 13 because of turnovers and stupid penalties. They moved the ball better than they ever have. They ran the ball better than they ever have. And Nuss came out this week and he said, Brian Kelly came up to him and he's like, listen, you're not hurt anymore. Go out there, play how you used to play. Stop playing tight and be yourself. And he's like, that felt good to hear, and I'm going to continue to try to do that. Because he said he was in a really tough spot to start the season, which is really concerning. He said he felt helpless at times. You don't love to hear that. It's not great. But I think they're close. And this is kind of their last chance. If it's another, 20 to 22 game this week, they're never going to figure it out, and that's just what it is. They might lose, but I do think they're close, and our defense is good enough to shut down Vandy.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I just would like to point out that Washington State did play Ole Miss closer than you guys did.
That was a big game for by 4 points. It's a big game for Ole Miss when they played us. It's a letdown.
Ole Miss. I'll say this. Ole Miss has been game plan for Georgia this game this weekend. They slept walk through that.
But the point being, that was a big game for Wazoo. This is a big game for Vandy still. To your point, they haven't really played anyone crazy yet besides Alabama, and this is their get right game after losing one.
We'll see. But I think LSU is going to be all right. Now, what they do the rest of the season, who knows? I have no idea. This offense might still be terrible, but I think they're close to getting it right.
Let's get to Red River because that was probably the biggest matchup,
Yeah.
I'd say. Big win for Texas. John Mateer, that defense. There's the Texas defense that we thought they'd be. I mean, they had a bad game against Florida, but they've been good all season. Other than that, Arch Manning looking a lot better. Now he's not a Heisman finalist yet, and they don't need him to be. We've been saying that for a while. I think everyone agrees that of the three of us here, he doesn't need to be. That defense is really good and was last year, and they didn't lose tons. Their offensive line played better. The kid that's a freshman, Baker, who got a DUI on 6th Street in the summer, is finally playing. They gave him a suspension. So that's part of the reason why their O-line didn't look as good, and now it's starting to get better. Again, I'm impressed with Arch. The run game began. Stu and Dak, we were all texting about how Trey Wisner looked really good in that game. They had some push against a really good D-line. Oklahoma's D-line might be the best in the country. I was impressed, though, because that saves their season. They have to win out. Maybe they can lose one of the Georgia or Texas A&M games if either of those teams get in the playoffs or in the SEC championship or whatever. But you can't bank on being 9-3. I think we'll see more SEC teams this year than Big Ten teams, no doubt about it. But I in the playoffs, I'm talking about, unlike last year. But I do think got to run the table. For Oklahoma side of things, the gauntlet begins, and we all like John Mateer a lot. I don't even think it was. You can't blame it on the hand, and he didn't either. Even if the hand was, obviously, it's not going to be 100%. The defense was just there. They made some plays. And the offense, they don't have a run game. They brought in Jay Denott, and the kid just doesn't play. They had 1,300 yards at Cal, but he just does not play. He's not the starter there. The freshman won it over him. So, I mean, I'm not blaming, even though he had 3 picks, John Mateer in that loss. I think Oklahoma didn't do much on defense. They let Arch get around. They ran the football down Oklahoma's throat. And, it's a big win. That's why Texas was favored. I think they have a better roster. Yeah. And for Oklahoma now, I mean, look at their schedule. I think they have the hardest remaining schedule in football. I think almost everybody, maybe one team's not ranked. It's insane. It's insane. So we'll see. Yeah. I like John Mateer a lot, but big game for Texas for sure. The fact they didn't let up a touchdown was great. And so they're back on track. Now they got to stay on track. The season's not guaranteed. It's all great now. But they get Kentucky and Mississippi State on the road. They should beat both those teams. And then you get Georgia and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt home, then Georgia on the road. So,
no, Trey Wisner, he looked sick. Literally that morning, I was just telling Dak, I was like, bro, Texas doesn't even have Arch was their leading rusher going into that game.
Yeah, CJ Baxter was out still too.
Yeah, and the defense did look really good. You think at the very end, it was more evident that it was Texas defense is just insane. But I do think a big chunk of that game too, John Mateer's throws were horrible. They were so bad. The opposite of slinging it. Everything looked like it was behind the receivers. And credit to Texas defense. There were some deflections there or some drops where they ended up picking it off after it hit off a guy's hand or was thrown way behind. But yeah, no, Texas needed it. And similar position to Michigan, where you got to win all the games now if you want a chance at the playoffs.
You get into that, Stu. Michigan, USC, 31-13. We watched it together. Man, that was as bad as it could get from an offensive and defense. The defense was terrible. I get it. Justice Haynes goes out, but there's so many other things, and I'll let you take the mic on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up. The Justice Haynes, even when he was in the beginning, he didn't really get anything cooking. The run game wasn't what we've seen in other games this season. And to be fair, a lot of Michigan's run game this season, outside of the Bryce QB scrambles, which we didn't see, or the Bryce QB design runs, didn't see any of those.
I haven't seen that with Sherrone as coach at all. Sorry to cut you off, but haven't seen that with Sherrone as coach at all. When Biff Poggi was in, they let him go.
I actually have a stat for that. So cumulative Bryce Underwood rushing stats under the 2 different coaches this season. Under the 2 games Bryce Underwood played with Biff Poggi, and you gotta say one of them's against CMU, but still,
sure.
The 2 games with Biff Poggi, Bryce Underwood, I think it was 160 rushing yards total. When he's playing under a Sherrone Moore coach team, 2 rushing yards total on the season. Insane. Which is wild. That's crazy. And so to my point was Michigan's run game, it was non-existent because Bryce wasn't running against USC at all. There was no design runs for him or anything. The O-line in general looked horrible. And a big thing with Michigan's run game this season, even though they had the CMU game, which inflated their rushing stats a ton, every other game, even though Justice Haynes has had over 100 yards, most of it comes from really one big broken run. It's not like they're getting like 6,
Yep.
7 yards every carry, which
Yep.
normally that's the case if you have a good O-line. If you got a guy who's busting 180-yarder every game, that's probably a sign that your running back is better than your O-line is. And so that was clear after the USC game, just because run game was not there. Passing game, I mean, you can see that they're starting to figure out the guys that they like, and Bryce is starting to figure out the guys that he likes more. But it just feels like this is something you should have had sorted out in fall camp coming into the season. Like, it's clear they really like Andrew Marsh now, and the kid looks good. Like, he looks solid. But it's like you can't go through this transition of making a new guy your number one receiver in the middle of the season when you're playing these big games. This is something where the connection, the chemistry, that's got to be developed before the season even starts. And so it was just a lot of screens, a lot of short screens. Drops weren't as big of a problem this game as they've been in other games. So, I mean, you could at least say that's one good takeaway from it. But also, like you said, defense did not look like a
I mean,
Michigan defense.
that kid King Miller,
Terrible.
who was their backup, was a walk-on, ran all over that defense at the second half of the game.
He had
So
like
much-
180 or something on the
It
ground.
was insane.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
so
bad.
many broken tackles, like it was insane. And then they put in that other kid at the end too who got the
Yeah.
touchdown, and they got fined because he wasn't supposed to play or whatever. But who cares?
Right.
Like they
One of
killed
their
him.
the starter got hurt, right? And then so King
Yeah.
came in, and then whoever that kid was played.
Yeah.
I also saw I was seeing this on Twitter at least, is Michigan continually went 7 in the box as USC was just going empty set. And it's like, okay, there were guys just in the slot uncovered, nobody matched up, and they still didn't stop the run. And it's like, it makes no sense. What are you doing?
That's what was even more disappointing was like USC. They didn't even beat us like how you would expect. Like, it's not like they were tossing the ball over the over the like deep. Like, they were just picking us apart, and then they were
It was
running
in the trenches. They beat you in the trenches, which is where Michigan prides themselves.
And like I said, our O-line was horrible. Michigan's O-line was terrible. But I will say this is the first time I've looked at a USC defensive line, and you said it too, Kreitz. Like, they got some guys there now.
Big boys.
Big guys that they have not had in the past. And so, I don't know. I do think USC is a good team. Like, the loss to Illinois, I was thinking, oh, Michigan's going to win this probably. Like, it'll be close, but Michigan will win it. I do think USC is just a really good team when they're on, because I think Mayav is a great QB. And then, obviously, their running backs look insane, too. And then the wideouts, Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon, both of them crazy.
So I didn't know the Illinois game. I guess they all got food poisoning the night before. And USC, they just lost their best defender like 3 hours before the Illinois game. They were just all sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until after they played Michigan. But that obviously
Lane didn't play either against Illinois.
Yeah, like that plays a factor for sure. Because otherwise, I'm shocked they lost to Illinois.
What I saw in that game, other than like you said, Dak and Stu, like the trenches, obviously it was a big thing that they just got dominated in, was they were out coached too. Like you said, 7 in the box for Wink Martindale, foolish defense, and Sherrone Moore being conservative as all get out and predictable. And you got to let this kid who has the ability to be a really good quarterback. Yeah, that was a bad pick at the end of the day, but you got to force it down there. The receivers, you're right, Stu. Like, you got to figure out who your connections are. And yeah, I like that Marsh kid too, but like he was out coached. Both at all phases, they were out coached. Plain and simple. I mean, it just looked like, wow. And it could have been way worse. They got that turnover in the red zone there. What was that, the third quarter, where we thought, okay, maybe they'll go and finally make this a one-score game, and they could have scored more at the end. That wasn't even close. It was embarrassing. That was an embarrassing loss for Michigan, and I get it. They're playing Washington. They're favored by 6. Don't really know why, because it's at home maybe. Don't know why they're favored by 6 against the Huskies. I don't get that.
That's a lot.
If they win that one, okay, but we got to see something different here, and not just blue collar jackets they got from Carhartt. I mean, that's the stupid. As a Michigan fan, now my fandom's coming out. I'm pissed off. I think we're all kind of pissed off with our coaches in this room here. What are we doing? Sherrone Moore gets handed the keys by Harbaugh, who leaves. We get it. Harbaugh championship, all that shit, whatever. If you want to say it's cheating, it doesn't matter. They still won a championship. brought Michigan back to being beyond relevant and one of the powerhouses in football. If you lose it here and you're in the coaching carousel, which possibility, we'll talk more about that. I mean, it would be a hell of a job. It's still the best job that would be open, sure. But, you can't lose Bryce. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many factors here where are we just going to bank on Sherrone more, who, if they go 8-4, I don't want him here. They shouldn't lose any other game on their schedule other than Ohio State, which, again, you never know with that. I can't even throw that out of the equation. But Ohio State looks like the best team, if not one of the 3 best teams in the country right now. So I'm just going to say they probably won't get that. And even if they went out, all right, well, you're 9-3. Like, I got to see improvement. If they're 9-3 and there's improvement there and they keep it close to Ohio State and they go out and win this game specifically against Washington in a fashion where it's like, all right, well, this is a game they lost last year on the road, and this is a good quarterback, a good run game. Can you stop that and actually look like the team we think they can be? Great, but I'm just not impressed with Sherrone Moore at all. I'm just not.
And it's not even like as the season goes on too. I don't even think it's the wins and losses. Like you could go ahead and be 9-3. Say you lose to Ohio State close, even if you're 10-2 and you beat Ohio State in the 13-10 game. You hit the nail on the head. This team has to show improvement week in, week out, specifically on the offensive side of the ball, because like Bryce Underwood right now is your future, and that is your ticket to another national championship. And like you have to guarantee that this offense is going to be in a good spot in the next couple of years, because you don't want to waste him. That it would be you can't waste him. And so if they don't improve week in, week out, that's where I'm like, just get rid of Sherrone now, rip the Band-Aid off, and find somebody better for the job. That's my opinion. I know, Stu, you maybe feel differently, but I would just get it done with, because I don't think he's the guy to handle it right now.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot this week, me and Dak have, and I go back and forth on it. Obviously, I don't want it. Like, it's such an eye test thing. Like with Michigan football, like you just look at it and there's this stink on it that you see right now in terms of the offense. And we saw it last year, and it's a little better than last year, but there's still a lot of shades of it that you see in these games. The only 2 games we really didn't see it as much was literally Nebraska and CMU this year, the 2 games Sherrone didn't coach. And so on that hand, it's like, oh, I do want him out of here. I would rather get rid of this sooner than later. On the other hand, too, it's like, okay, this guy's recruited really well. And do I also really want to get into this situation where I hire someone else? It still doesn't look amazing. Maybe it looks a little better, but still not amazing. He rocks out for 2 years. Then you dump him. You're on to the next guy too. I just don't want to go back to the Rich Rod to Brady Hoke, that era, that type of cycle. Like, so part of me wants him gone sooner than later. The other part of me is like, I almost want to give this guy just at least 3 full seasons to like really see if anything changes. And then obviously, at that point, if it doesn't,
I'm not ready to pull the plug completely, but there needs to be improvement, because what's his record now? Is he 11-7 regular season? Is that right?
I think it's 11-6, or maybe it is 11-7.
We already have 2 losses. They lost 5 last year, so 11-7. And it's just kind of, like you said, shades of Brady Hoke. And even Brady Hoke came in. Now that Rich Rod team actually had some development. I don't know. It's the issue for me is Harbaugh, and do you blame Harbaugh for the situation? Not really. I don't. But said, hey, I'm anointing this guy. Okay? I'm going to pass the keys, and you're going to do this. Harbaugh's not here. Like
exactly.
He's not on campus anymore. Like, we don't owe him like what he did for University of Michigan. Like, appreciate Harbaugh. There'll be a statue of the guy. But like, Sherrone Moore might not just be a good coach. Now, I'm with you, Stu. I think we should ride out the season. But like in this game against Washington, if it's close or they lose, all right. Like we got to see improvement, because that was an embarrassing game against USC. That was the first time I was like, oh, that was awful. I mean, that was an awful performance.
Yeah, I want to see at least a 10-point win against Washington for me to be satisfied. If it's a game where it's coming down to literally the last 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, I'm just not going to be happy. Like, I'm going to be sour on Sherrone. I won't be saying fire him yet, but I just won't be happy. Like, he would have to beat Ohio State at that point for me to deem the season any sort of success.
Well, so my thing,
failure if you lose this game, because you're probably going to lose Ohio State too.
Yeah, and that was kind of my thing is like you guys mentioned it, like you don't want to get stuck in the Rich Rod and the Brady Hoke, that coaching carousel. Number one, just don't hire a guy like Rich Rod and don't hire Brady Hoke. It was a bad call. So
like polar opposites. They like tried to like, oh, we want to do something opposite
weird.
of this. Yeah, it was just odd. The Rich Rod hire was weird. That was such
It was
a weird hire.
From the
hot
get-go.
name that didn't make no sense from a culture standpoint.
Yeah, he had one good year with West Virginia, where they started like 9-1.
He had a few good years. Yeah.
It was the season we hired him though, wasn't it? West Virginia was they started like 9-1, finished 9-3, something like that. Regardless, though, at least the way that I see it is, if you don't want to get stuck in that again, that's why you just toss Sherrone Moore right now, because I think the easiest path back into that is you take what Jim Harbaugh built, you give Sherrone Moore the keys, and he just slowly rips it apart, and then the culture breaks down. You lose more and more games. The recruiting classes,
you lose the momentum. You lose
so much momentum, and then it's like, okay, who wants to go here and try to build it back up, because there is a lot of pressure here, and it took Jimmy 10 years. You don't want to fall back into that, and so if you see that happening, that's where I'm like, just get rid of Sherrone now and bring somebody in who's capable of handling it before it gets too far. There's two ways, obviously. I don't know, but
that's why I feel like you gotta kind of find the happy medium though, because like even if you give him one more season next season, still have a top 10 recruiting class coming in. Yeah, the transfer portal's a thing, but like if he has a poor season next season and you wait until the end to fire him, then team nets are still pretty full. Like you got a decent amount going for you on that roster still, even if you do lose a little bit. And so that's what I'm saying. Like after his third year, I could more see the conversation being real there, if it's still a disappointment. Right now is, I feel like, the position where if you get rid of him, you really do run the risk of losing what you do have there, because Bryce is still so early in his career that if Sherrone gets fired this season, what's going to stop him from saying like, oh, I'm only a sophomore next year, let me just go somewhere else and finish this out? What's stopping Savion Hyder, who's committed, from saying, season hasn't started yet, I could decommit real quick and go somewhere else? So I kind of feel like you got to keep him at least one more season. He'll have majority all his guys in at that point. He's got his QB. He's got his new running back coming in. Allegedly, his new receivers in the next recruiting class coming in too. We'll see what he does in the transfer portal. But yeah, I mean, obviously,
we got to see Stu baseline. Like we got to see improvement, because if there's some improvement and they lose and they end up going 9-3 and they lose to Ohio State, or even if it's just another loss in general, whatever. Like again, they could beat technically Ohio State. I don't know how long that's going to last, but you just got to see. What we saw on Saturday was embarrassing. It was like, whoa, this is like, we haven't seen anything like this in a long time. You know what I mean? Like even those games. Yeah, it was like, and we don't have Alex Orji and Davis Warren at quarterback anymore. We paid this kid to come in, and it's not his fault.
His seat is warm. I wouldn't say it's hot. Yeah. It's warm right now. There's not an obvious candidate to replace him. I will say too, the other thing is like the only real success we've seen as a Michigan football fan was with Jim Harbaugh, and after 3 seasons with him, people were saying the same thing.
But I'll say this: Jim's proven. Jim won, right? This guy's never been a coach. That's the thing. I'm like, that's the only thing.
And Jim was taking over a pile of crap. It's the only way to put it.
But there is something to be said of like Rich Rod. Even when Brady Hoke had his one good season, it was like, but that was pretty much all Rich Rod's guys running a pretty similar Rich Rod offense still, and then it all just tanked. And so I don't know. I feel like there is a happy middle there, and that's why I'm set at 3 seasons for now. Give him until his third season.
Unless he loses to Michigan State.
No, then it's over.
Then it's over.
Stu's going to be driving to East Lansing after the game, or wherever it is. I don't know.
I'll be driving to Ann Arbor to Sherrone Moore's house if that's the case, dude.
Yeah, giving him the James Franklin. So it kind of leads us, I guess, into the coaching carousel.
Let's just say this real quick. Let's just say this with one more big game. We got to say it's Indiana had an unbelievable win. They're legit. They are legit. So Indiana, to me, it seems like a very legit team after that win. The way they won that game, it wasn't like, oh, yeah, they won. No. They put Oregon in a phone booth in the second half, and after even throwing a pick six, beat the brakes off them. Very impressive from Indiana, because we've been waiting like, all right, Kirk Cignetti, Indiana, whatever. That was a hell of a win in one of the loudest places in college football, a place where their aspirations are to go win a title right now. Not to say they can't, but defense made Dante Moore not look like the Dante Moore we've seen. Still a great quarterback, but I was so impressed with what they did on the defense side of the ball. And they got protection from Mendoza, and he's just flicking the ball to everybody, and they're scoring. So credit to Indiana. They deserve to be number 3 in the country.
Yeah, dude, that was easily their most impressive win.
Is that the best win this year? I had this argument with my co-host, and he got all Georgia and Alabama. I'm like, all right, well, that can be second. I think it's the best win of the year.
I think this is probably the best win of the year because Oregon looked like arguably the best team in the country, maybe second best team in the country. Nobody really gave Indiana much of a shot, a small shot. They were 7-point underdog.
Right.
And I would call that the biggest of the year because I thought Oregon's against Penn State was maybe the biggest at the time. Miami's
People counter what he countered with is, well, the Penn State's lost the last 2. Well, they legit killed the program. They killed the James Franklin experience at home at night. Like, do you see what I'm saying? I hate when people do they were number 2 in the country
because it's different.
15 days ago.
Exactly.
Like, let's not act like they weren't.
And you're playing a different losses like that can kill a team and you can crumble it. Yes.
People do that.
No, exactly. Because then I also think like the Miami win against Notre Dame, that was a big one. But I think this was the biggest by far because it was a statement by Indiana because of how they did it. I was watching it with Ocampo, and he was concerned as the half was going on. I was like,
and he was crying.
He was crying. He actually was towards the end, not like actually, but he was whining. I'll say he was whining. He was like, "Oh, I can't believe this is my life. All I have left are the Dodgers."
So bad. You're gonna win back-to-back titles.
I know, yeah, because he texted me. He's like, "Man, you're right. It doesn't get any better." I was like, "We're not the same." I just watched the Tigers lose. I watched the Lions lose. And I watch LSU lose all the time. Not the same.
Bad weekend for the boys.
Really bad for Michigan sports all around. But what I was saying is I expected when that game went into halftime, I told him, I was like, I think Oregon's just trying to kind of control the pace of the game because they know if Indiana gets into a shootout, that's where they're comfortable. They want to kind of just sling it, get into a fast-paced game. I was wrong. Turns out Indiana went in there and they just manhandled them. I got to give you credit. I was not familiar with your game, Indiana's defense. They looked fantastic. Oregon couldn't move the ball, dude. Down the field, run the football, short games, nothing. Indiana's D-line is legit. Their defense is legit, and they play a really clean brand of football outside of the 1 pick 6 on offense. And so props to you, Curt Cignetti. I kind of dumped on him in the past, couldn't think they could win any big games, but that was huge.
Yeah, given the win Oregon just came off of and the narrative going into that game, how everyone was feeling about Oregon, I would for sure say it's the biggest win. Like Georgia, yeah, sure, Alabama winning in Athens, that's a big win. But Georgia, they almost probably should have lost to Tennessee prior to that. And so, I don't know. To me, I feel like it is a way bigger win. You had Dan Lanning ripping his shirt off before the game. I would easily call it the biggest win of the season.
I think it's the best win of the season because, like you said, the spread, it's a good win for Alabama for sure. And for Alabama's got, even without Nick Saban, Kirby's number, clearly. I get it was in Georgia, and Georgia had lost a game in years at that place. But also they haven't had a lot of contests come in there that have been tough. So because they've benefited on being on the east side of the SEC until now, obviously that's changed. But, yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's the best win. I'd say it's the second best win. It's fine. You could dub it as that. But Alabama, they're a great team. I don't know if Georgia is a great team this season. They were down 10-0 to Auburn.
It should have been 17. It should have been 17.
Horribly officiated game, completely. Auburn's not amazing by any means, but they have gotten screwed in 2 games. Screwed. Totally screwed in the Oklahoma game. Yep. Points have gotten taken off the board. And like you just said, Dak, in that game, they should have been at halftime with 17 points.
Yep, they fumbled on the one. But, dude, Georgia, talk about a team that can't run the football. Georgia can't run the football.
No, Nick Frazier and that offense can't get it going.
Yeah, who's their main back? Because they barely use Frazier at this point. They got somebody else, Chauncey something.
Yeah.
I think is maybe their leading. I wouldn't be surprised if Gunnar Stockton's their leading rusher at this point. He's the only one that's consistently kind of moving. Yeah, no, they've struggled. They don't look good, but they didn't look really great last
Their defense doesn't look that good.
No, it doesn't. And Auburn actually isn't terrible. They just have a really bad head coach in Hugh Freeze. Like, they shouldn't be this bad. They stick around with teams, but yeah, dude, I don't know. Georgia's in a tough spot. Like you said it too. Like, Alabama's gone in there. They've done that before. They played big games like that. Indiana's never done that, which is kind of why like it was such a big deal, man. Like that was huge for them.
The game day was there. It was the perfect spot for Indiana to come up and be like, oh, they played close. They only lost by a touchdown. No, they actually dominated Oregon in the second half and beat them by double digits.
Like, and they're going to win out. Indiana's probably going to go to the Big Ten.
Probably. Yeah. All right, let's get to the coach. Oh, sorry.
Real quick on that, just to go back to the Alabama-Georgia game real quick too. In that fourth quarter, Georgia, all they have to do is get a first down, and they probably beat Alabama at home. So I don't know. I just feel like the Indiana over Oregon win way more convincing, more impressive.
Yeah. I was just going to get to the coaching carousel. Kind of, we alluded to that, talked a little bit about it. Let's just get to James Franklin, though, who we brought up. That's obviously one of the biggest firings midseason we've seen, and it was well-deserved. The guy's getting paid $22 million an hour for the next 6 years, or maybe you said it's adjusted a little bit. Whatever. He's getting a lot of money, and he'll have a job if he wants it. A lot of job openings are coming up. I don't even, as much jokes as we make about the guy's not a bad coach. It's never been that. He obviously is a good coach. He obviously knows how to win, but he's never been a great coach. He always gets out coached. And that's the thing about James Franklin is everybody on the outside knew that. It's been 12 years of sample size. And I give credit to Penn State. Now, I think Adidas is apparently a part of this deal. They're switching to Adidas in 2026, and a big chunk of that change that they're going to have for the buyout money is probably coming from them. I bet you that was talked about earlier on in the season. If they're like, hey, just in case we are ready to get rid of James, because this is the year to prove it. We'll go to Adidas because that was such. I saw that. I was like, they're going to Adidas. That's such. They've always been Nike since we.
I know.
Like they've never not. It's a Nike school. Well, they're going to Adidas, obviously, and they want some help. So I think that's part of why they're going to be Adidas next year, so they can pay out this big contract and continue just. But I'll say it right now, fellas, and I'll let you guys say what you want. They might call Kirk Cignetti and they might call Marcus Freeman. They're getting Matt Rhule. It's going to happen. I just see it now. Matt Rhule's taking that job. I don't know if you heard his interview. He didn't say he didn't want it. I love my old school. I love my alma mater. He pretty much said he wanted it. Yeah. And like in Nebraska, they'll probably win 8 games this year at this point, maybe 9. And that's enough for him to be like, all right, 3 years here, I got you back to winning, which credit he did, I guess. Yeah. But like they didn't even beat this bad Michigan team. That was Michigan's best game, obviously. Well, Sherrone Moore wasn't coaching. I digress. We'll get back to Penn State. I think it's going to be Matt Rhule because I don't think Kirk Cignetti's going to leave, even though it's a better job. It is. But I think there's enough buy-in with Indiana where he'll just stay 64 years old. It's like, I'm just going to be the guy here in Bloomington and make something here, make my name known here. Because if it doesn't work at Penn State for him, he'll get ran out real quick. And then I think Matt Rhule, just the Marcus Freeman's probably not leaving Notre Dame. Why? I don't know why you'd want to. Notre Dame's a great job. Like maybe a little bit better because of conference, but I don't even know if he wants that. He is kind of Notre Dame right now. I got Matt Rhule. It just seems like it stinks of Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule will be Penn State's head coach. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, so I would say I was thinking about this earlier. I would say gun to my head, I'm going Matt Rhule. That press conference was hilarious. He was like, I love Penn State. He's like, I love James Franklin. He's like, that's my alma mater. And then they got into Nebraska. He's like, well, my wife decides where we live. And it's like, okay, awesome. He's like, we love it here.
Do you love living in Lincoln?
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. And so I think he would go there in a heartbeat. I think if I'm a Penn State fan, I'm begging for them to go get Kirk Cignetti. That's what I'd want as my head coach, 1,000%. That's probably who they should go get. But Kirk Cignetti's going to be playing into December, potentially January. So you got to be able to wait it out a little bit. A couple other names that I thought, because there's the Adidas side to it that you alluded to. There's also the Bills owner. I saw this last night. Pagula. He is
talked about him a few times now.
I know. I don't know what's going on. It's just a Bills year, I guess. But he went to Penn State. What did you say?
Said loves the Bills owner.
I guess so. Yeah.
You do.
dating-
What's his
he's dating
name?
a 26-year-old Terry Pagula or something like that.
That's all right.
Bro, you know this guy's whole life story, bro.
Yeah, you do, bro.
I don't. I saw a weird clip about how he's dating Josh Allen's ex, and then now I saw this clip. He went to Penn State, and people were. It was rumored because I mean this buyout. It's not just the James Franklin piece. You got to buy out all the coaches and everything. Like this is $75 million plus. Once it's all said and done, that's a lot of money. There was a rumor potentially that he came to them and he's like, hey, I'll front the cash. But if Joe Brady ends up leaving, I want Joe Brady to be our head coach, which would be interesting. I think Joe Brady's going to be looking for an NFL job. But if the owner of your team right now is like, hey, I want you to go coach my college team, something tough to pass up. And so that would be an interesting one to look into also. And then Brian Hartline, I think that would be a good hire, but we'll see.
Yeah, so I got the latest odds pulled up for
Yeah,
the
spit him.
head coach. And before I read them out, I will just say real quick, I agree. I think this is pretty much a done deal already that Matt Rhule is going to be the next coach of Penn State. But the odds right now, it's actually tied Matt Rhule and Joe Brady.
Wow.
Joe Brady's actually tied for it.
Joe Brady's tied, and this is as of today on oddschecker.com.
Dang.
In third, I'm a fan of the third at plus 500. Fran Brown from Syracuse.
Okay, yeah, sure.
That's a good. Yeah, he's good.
Some other names that they're out there. Sinetti's fourth, plus 600. Then you got Lane Kiffin at plus 1,000. Matt Campbell plus 1,000. Bill O'Brien plus 1,200.
I would love it. That would be hilarious.
My gosh.
Bring back
Gruden,
BOB.
1,500.
No.
Manny Diaz plus 1,600. But the Joe Brady thing. The Joe Brady's obviously got some wheels.
How would you say?
I said the Joe Brady thing obviously has some wheels.
Yeah, it does. And I actually think there's a side of that where that would be if I was a young player playing for a cool guy, like he's a younger guy. He's obviously been in the NFL, been around Josh Allen, had success. LSU, obviously. He would be a guy, if I was a recruit, I'd be like attracted to go playing for. The Rhule thing, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to let me take my fandom hat off. Or I just don't really fully how much better are they gonna be? He'll have more resources, but I don't know.
The same team, I feel like, with Matt Rhule.
Yeah, I don't. And that's the thing. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, James Franklin, his biggest issue was that he couldn't win as an underdog. He couldn't beat top 10 teams. Who has Matt Rhule beaten? I don't know. He had a little success at Baylor. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see too many differences in that program if that's who they end up going with, which it sounds like probably is going to be who they end up going with.
Yeah, and I get it. You need somebody new. You do. It's gotten stale. It's just a reoccurring thing. It's been like this for years. I mean, years and years and years. 12 years is a long time. And in this era, and again, he'll get a job, Virginia Tech, wherever he wants to go, whatever it'll be. He'll get a job or he'll be in TV. God, I hope he's not.
That'd be terrible.
That'd be terrible. I don't like him, but he is a good coach. I'll give him his flowers there as to that, but I won't say he's great. That's why I got fired. So Matt Rhule is going to get hired there. You could smell it, you can smell it. Other job openings, fellas. Okay, Florida's going to happen. I believe that's going to. I don't know what they're waiting for.
Florida's going to happen. I think that's it.
Right. But why? What they beat Mississippi State? You just keep them around? I don't get why.
Because did they already have their bye week, or I think they go into a bye week after this weekend? That's why.
No, another one right away.
Yeah,
no, they did. They did before Texas. They definitely
before
did.
Texas. That's what I thought. Yeah, I don't know what they're waiting for. All I know is it was a few hours ago. I saw a bunch of memes on Twitter, and
they might go to buy again. You might be right. They do the double buys now.
The double buy, and I saw something on Twitter, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I guess it's a done deal." Florida Athletics, they stepped in. They're like, I guess Booster stepped in, and they're like, "This is it. He gets one more weekend. He's done." So it sounds like it's already complete. Like this is his final game this weekend. I feel like now that it's out there, they might just cut the ties and not let him do it, but we'll see.
Well, it's Wednesday. It's like it's gonna happen now. It's probably I don't know why they would get rid of him now. Maybe they're just waiting for interim to have a week to kind of prepare him, an extra week. I don't know. Exactly. That's so odd. What other jobs do we have open? If we see Bobby Petrino sticking at Arkansas, good God. I mean, Arkansas is open. Oklahoma State's open.
Hugh Freeze could still be on the way out, potentially.
Hugh Freeze could be on the way out, possibly. Yeah, that's one to watch out for. I think Jonathan Smith's a dead man walking for Michigan State. You can't bring that guy back. Yeah. He's terrible. He's terrible.
He's terrible.
He's terrible. I mean, he's like the most unemotional. Like someone was like, one of their players was on. I was watching the USC game. I think he got I don't know if he got paralyzed. I feel like we would have hurt that. He got carted off, and the dude didn't even act like he just was there. No emotion. All of his players are crying. He just is dead inside, and he does not. He won't be there. Wisconsin, what the hell? We haven't called him for this one for a while. What has Luke Fickell done? Nothing. Strange that he hasn't done anything. He got Cincy to the playoffs. I don't know why the hell that hasn't worked at least a little bit.
Yeah, no, I don't get it. I didn't think he would be this bad. I actually didn't think he would be bad at Wisconsin in general. And I definitely
didn't think hire. Yeah,
I definitely didn't think he would be this bad. You got to just let him go at this point, right? Like you can't ride it out.
Lost 34-0 to Iowa. 34-0.
That's so bad.
And
it's embarrassing.
Not the back of Michigan. That's the thing. It's like, how can you not beat them by that much?
That was the first sign. That was the first sign of the offense is a little broken for Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why.
Wisconsin looks worse and worse every week they play football.
Terrible team. Who else, boys? Who else am I forgetting?
Those are the big ones. I feel
maybe. You could say maybe Kentucky Stoops.
Buy out. They got to pay him all that money in 2 weeks. I don't think they will.
2 weeks, yeah. No, Virginia Tech.
They F themselves big time with that. Maybe they could, but I don't know who's coughing that up.
I think it's really Wisconsin, Florida, Auburn. Those are the three. And talk about Auburn. If they got rid of Hugh Freeze, I could see them getting someone like Eli Drinkowitz real quick, dude.
Oregon State, I think fired. I mean, I know they were awful, but Oregon State, I think's out. UAB. I talked Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, he's gone.
No, Virginia Tech, right? Virginia Tech. Yeah. I think Brent Key could be a name to watch out for a few of those big jobs from Georgia. Agreed.
Watch out for that. What if Florida went and did that? Because
that's why I saw a few. Yeah, Florida fans wanted Brent Key. That's good.
That'd be a great hire because he's recruited really well in Georgia.
So my opinion on the Florida job, I think they tried to do it last year, and I think they're just going to do it. They're going for Lane Kiffin, and I think they're going to ask what's it going to take? I know your daughter didn't want you to leave. I know you like Ole Miss. What's it going to take for you to come here? I think they're going to get him. This will be the time to do.
I like it. I think it makes total sense. That just fits for me. He would be sick of the swamp, and Ole Miss. I think he's taken them as far as he can. Again, this year, I mean, if they beat Georgia and they're in the playoffs this year, I think if he gets them to the playoffs and kind of realizes all right, look at these teams. Even if he wins a game, it's I can't beat these Ohio States, these teams that just have whoever else the resources that Ole Miss just doesn't have. They don't have them, and Florida does more at least.
Florida does. It'd be such a great fit too. Florida's just been so bad for so long. It just and not even seasons where they weren't awful. They're just not fun to watch. And when we were growing up, dude, Florida was the best. Those Urban Meyer teams were electric. It was great. The Swamp's awesome. And
that's the thing. Do you think Urban Meyer would ever come?
Dude, I don't know. So I've been predicting
Michigan State.
I've been predicting an Urban Meyer return for years now because I thought he was kind of faking the health issues again. He just had to get out of there, whatever. Obviously got canned by the Jags. He decided to go finger bang some lady over in England, you know.
Damn.
But I thought he was going to come back to college football at some point. Would Florida be the job that he comes back for? I could see him maybe giving him a call. He would not go to Michigan State. No shot. There's no way.
Don't tell Justin Spiro that because he'll cry. But if I'm if I'm Florida and I'm Urban, I mean, he already lives most of his year in Florida. He lives in Sarasota, and then beyond that, Florida. What do you have to lose by like bringing in Urban Meyer for one more run? Like you've already been tits for like 5, 6 seasons, maybe even longer than that. Like might as well.
Well, that just gave me a thought too. Dan Mullen, who used to coach there, because I was like, when's the last time they've been good? Dan Mullen got him to be okay. They won 9 games, whatever.
Good, yeah.
Dan Mullen might get a job. I mean, they're undefeated at UNLV year 1.
Yeah. He was always a good coach, dude. They kind of fired him prematurely. Like he wasn't bad at Florida. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting close to the mark. Let's let's get the Dax dog, shall we, fellas? Are we good? You good with doing that?
Yeah. One quick question: do you guys think Florida State? What do you think, Mike Norvell? I think that might be cooked. They're 3-3 again. That's tough.
That Bama win might get them a whole year. That's what I think.
Maybe. But what if they go like 6-6?
He's in thrown more area, I feel like, where it's like as long as he doesn't only win 7 games this year, then he should be safe. But if he only wins 7 games, then yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, they just lost to Pitt. That's tough.
It's not an awful team. I'm
They're
not. I know, but they're very underwhelming right now, for sure. But I don't know. Virginia is not awful. Like they kind of had a tougher slate. The ACC's frisky. They got some weird frisky teams.
It is frisky, but 3-3. That's not the best. After going, what they go last year, 1-11,
2-10. So they already got more wins than they did last year, and they kept them after that.
Improvement. That's true. Yeah, fair. Okay, yeah. What's next?
All right, Dax.
Your segment, Dax Dog.
Oh yeah, Dax Dog. Well, we already talked a lot about it. It's not this time. It's not going to one single player like what we usually do. I think we gave it last week. It went to Nico for taking out James Franklin. Turns out for almost taking him out permanently. I guess Northwestern did that. This week it goes to the game of the week, and Kreitz called it the game of the year. I agree. Indiana's defense as a whole, along with the man himself, Curt Cignetti. Oh, come on. Just one. I want one episode.
We haven't talked much about him today.
No, we haven't talked about him because we don't need to talk about. Yeah, there he is, Curt Cignetti. Hell of a win.
Never seen the man smile. Never seen that man smile.
I haven't either. I wasn't the biggest Coach Sig guy. I thought he was a little cocky, maybe a little bit of a dick, and he hadn't really won anything technically. He'd won a lot of games, but nothing big. He shut me up, and he shut up all the haters this weekend. So props to him. Agreed. And I think he might be Michigan's next head coach. That's all I'm saying.
Could be LSU's next head coach.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a Midwest guy. He's not a.
He is a Midwest guy.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think if it gets bad with Sherrone, I think he'd actually maybe entertain that call. Penn State.
Well, that was my question.
I would be okay with it. I said I wouldn't hate it.
I think he'd fit. Like, we're Michigan.
Yeah, if the option is like if he's about to go to Penn State and Michigan's sitting there at 9-3, but he's like, but the rumor is he wouldn't go to Penn State if he could go to Michigan. Do you cut ties and be like, all right, we got to do this now?
If you're guaranteeing that Cincinnati is coming, yeah.
Okay.
If it's like a 99% chance that, all right, we cut Sherrone loose right now. We know from his camp he wants to come. Yeah.
I think you could keep Bryce Underwood if he comes in, like a proven guy like that. Totally.
Yeah. Even if you don't keep Bryce, it's like Mendoza came out of nowhere and he's Heisman favorite now. So it's like he's going to find someone who's good.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. We got a little you said, Stu, we got a little fun segment here to finish her off, right?
We do. So we got some would you rathers. So I posted this on our IG. We got a few responses. I actually did put one in myself, and so I'm gonna start with that one. And the question is, who would you rather have as your head football coach? James Franklin or Mel Tucker?
James Franklin.
James Franklin for me, yeah. Yeah.
James Franklin's probably the right answer, but I would say Mel Tucker just for
Yeah,
the
I
name.
knew you were.
What is Mel Tucker doing right now? I genuinely am asking that.
I don't think he can
He's
do
probably like
anything.
an analyst or something somewhere.
No, dude, I don't think a team can hire him. Like it's not like he was let go because he was bad at his job. He was let go because he's a pervert. Like you can't
Well,
really hire the guy.
Towards the end, he was also bad at his job.
Also,
too.
that it was a combination.
All right, that was easy.
Yeah, he's jobless right now.
Yeah, who's hiring? I guess the CW channel, they'll hire anybody. So they could probably bring him on.
True. The next one, this one's a little tougher. This one, Dak, I prefaced this one to you before we hopped on, and your answer was quick, and I think mine is too, but I don't know. I think I have to think about it again now. But it's win one natty and be irrelevant for 25 years, or compete for the in the playoffs and for the national championship every season, but you don't win it.
Yeah, give me the
right there
natty
where you don't win it.
national championship.
Yeah, national championship. That's what matters. Like Michigan got it done. Like I can at least rest. Like all right, as a Michigan fans, I saw them win it.
For sure. And that it's being irrelevant after one natty, that is tough because it's you go from top of the mountain to oh, we don't mean anything now for 25 years. But
Yeah.
I was
If
literally
you're
saying,
not winning them, then whatever.
yeah.
It's
And
more heartbreaking. I'd rather just be irrelevant.
Exactly.
Pain. Yeah.
For sure. Take the one year celebration. You can just hang your hat on that 1 year for honestly at least 20 of those 25 years. Because even when Dak was talking to me about Sherrone the other day, I was like, look, even if we do give him 3 years and we suck and it somehow goes way downhill, I still got my natty 2 years ago. It's not I'm not fiending for it as much as I was at before, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
No, fair.
And then okay, so wait, the other one I forgot. Shout out to my girlfriend Jenna. She gave us one. And this is one that honestly it sucks, but it's would you rather hang out there was two parts to it. So the first part
Okay.
would you rather hang out with Jalen Hurts or Travis Kelce for the whole day? I said Jalen Hurts easily.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, 100%. Yeah, you'd have to hold a shotgun to my head to get me to hang out with Travis Kelce all day.
Yeah. And then I felt like that one was easy. The next one was also, I feel easy, but it was so funny, I have to say it. Would you rather you can only listen to this song the whole day, and it's Would by Taylor Swift, or all you can watch for a whole day is episodes of whatever I forget what it's called, New Heights or whatever, the Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce podcast.
So I'm not familiar.
So you gotta set the parameters here because music is on continuously. I can't turn it off.
You can turn both off, so you can just go either not watch if you chose the Travis Kelce New Heights, you could technically just not watch anything all day, and it would still count because that's your only form of content you can take in, or you can just not listen to anything all day. But if you do listen to something, it has to be Taylor Swift Would. But you can still watch whatever.
I'm not familiar with Would by Taylor Swift, but I guess I would just not consume any content all day and go with New Heights and just avoid it. But if I don't have a choice, if it's in my ears the entire day and I have to play New Heights,
I just want to do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if I have to play New Heights for 24 straight hours or I have to play Would for 24 straight hours, I think I'm going the Taylor Swift route because I refuse to listen to Jason and Travis Kelce on their podcast. So it's tough, but I think I'm gonna do
I think we gotta say it like this, like a day, like a 12-hour day, right?
Yeah.
You're up and it has to be continuously playing. That's a tough one.
It's really
tough. You can get some at least variety where you know different episodes, different guests that I don't hate because they have on people I don't hate. They got the legacy on there. Your favorite man. You know what I mean? You can watch that.
I saw that.
You watched that. Yeah. I haven't listened to this song either. I got to be honest, but I probably would
Mhm.
You guys know what
go.
it's about, right?
It's about his penis.
Yeah, it's about Travis.
So it's the one
I'm gonna
where
go with the New Heights because I would. I mean,
Yeah.
that would drive me insane if it's the same song over and over. It's not even about his penis.
okay,
It's
yeah,
like,
I
I
didn't
go New Heights.
I didn't know this one. So she has that one album where she's like out in the woods. It's like something like folklore or something. I thought it was a song from that album. I was like, I don't know, maybe I could catch on. It won't be that bad.
Folklore.
I was
Is
unaware.
that what it's called? Folklore?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think
It
so.
might be. I don't know.
It's something like it's something called
Folklore.
yeah. I think it's something to do with
You might be right. It's just crazy if it is.
No, I think it is. Yeah. And she's like, "Are we out of the woods?" Like one of those.
Yes, it is folklore. Damn.
Wow. Okay. There we go.
But no, it's about his penis. It is not about. It is
I
not.
mean, that's got to just be a terrible song. I'm switching. I'm going New Heights. I didn't know that was the song.
Yeah, what are you going, Stu?
I think I'm also gonna go New Heights. My thought initially was maybe I would go Taylor Swift, but just like keep the volume like extremely low and like just like watch other shit while it's like playing quietly in the background. But if we're going the route of, like you gotta be locked into that.
No
for 12
loophole.
hours.
Yeah, no loophole.
Yeah. If you gotta be locked in, I'm going New Heights also.
Agreed. Because I'd loophole it the way you're doing it. Agreed. But also, if it's not, I go New Heights. At least
Okay, I got one more. All
right.
And we've talked about this one before. Would you rather you have to give up football today? You got to give up football. Actually, I think there's a different version, but I'll do this one first. You got to give up football today. You can never watch football again, but you get access to every other sport. You can watch baseball, basketball, you can watch hockey, you can watch the Olympics, everything. Or you still get football. You get the NFL and college football, but the rest of the year you can't watch any March Madness. There's no other sports on TV. You can never watch any other sport ever again. They're all gone.
For the year? You said for the year?
The remainder of every single year. So from here on out,
It's either football or no football. That's what you're saying.
Pretty much. But with football, you don't get other sports. With no football, you get all the other sports.
So it's football and nothing else, or everything else, no football.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm going, as much as I hate to do it, hate to say it. It's tough. I was going to say everything else, but you know what? I think I would have to go football only. Just to hold on. If I missed the Lions Super Bowl because I gave it up to watch the Pistons lose to the Knicks every postseason, like I would regret it.
For me, it's not even a thought. As much as I love other sports, football. It's not even because I'm getting college and NFL still. I love basketball. I do. Baseball, great, whatever. But hockey's cool, but it's football. I'll always watch football.
Yeah.
I'd become a huge UFL guy after choosing football only.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go the same.
Canadian.
I'm definitely going football. Yeah, Canadian Football League would be sweet. The rest of the year would just be so boring. Like no March Madness.
Yeah, but it's half a year though. Like you're at least getting half a year.
Well, that's when you got UFL or USFL. It's in the spring.
That's true. I think there was another one that we talked about. I can't remember with like you get rid of movies too. Like you go no football for 5 years, or you go like no movies for the rest of your life, something like that. I don't remember. Stu, you had one with it was like WWE for the entire year.
Yeah, it was. So you have to. Would you rather not watch football? Or basically you have to watch, so the question is you have to watch WWE for an entire year. You have to put in at least like an hour a day into watching WWE to unlock watching football again. Or you can just have every other sport and not watch football. And it's basically, would you watch a whole year of WWE if you had to?
But it was a full year of WWE. That's all you can watch. You can't watch movies.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. That's it.
So a full year of WWE only, and if you do that, you can watch football. You can watch whatever you want after that, or you get everything besides football, basically.
And it has to be because there was like a parameter, like, oh, I'm gonna push that off. Let's say it's this.
So you can push it off.
you can push it off. Like you can be like, all right, well, I'm gonna enjoy just movies and every other sport for like 2 years, and then watch my full year of WWE.
Okay, I'd do that because I can push it off. But what if you couldn't push it off?
If you couldn't push it off, that would be it makes the decision way worse because if you say you take it this year, you just
I'm saying.
miss the Lions Super Bowl, and then it's all for naught.
Possibly.
Who even cares? Yeah, like
what if they don't? Though? You know what I mean?
Even if you can push it off, trying to time it would be so tough. Like you'd have to.
I'd push it off, like you said, until they're bad again. But if I couldn't push it off, I'd just rip it. I'd rip the Band-Aid off. I'd do it.
You gotta do it. Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah. And me and Dak were also saying when I initially asked that, dude, this was I got so high before I thought of this. And I was just like, bro, can't risk missing the Lions. But I feel like after you watch a full year of WWE, that's all you watch. You're probably tired of it at the end, but you're coming out of it at least somewhat of a fan. Like it's all.
Oh yeah, I bet it's like somewhat. If you're just buying in, like so many people like it. Like I just never got into it.
No,
I'd probably go to a few matches like WrestleMania. Might as well.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. This is I asked ChatGPT for some. I'm just gonna read off like one or two that it gave me real quick. These are very stock. I literally just said we do a college football show. Give us some would you rather's. So one of them is: would you rather play a full game in 108-degree heat or in 8 inches of snow?
The heat, probably the heat. Yeah.
I would also go heat, I think.
You'd pass out. That would be tough, but probably the heat.
I think I'd go snow because if I'm playing in an actual game, like I don't want to die. You know what I mean? Like people would smoke us. We would be brittle. Like, you know what I mean? Like hey, at least the snow, like people are slowed down and you're not gonna get hit as hard.
Yeah. The hits would hurt more though.
They would hurt.
But I just wear an excessive amount of gear.
Yeah.
True.
I'd throw on like a couple pairs of gloves probably because the hands are the worst in the cold. A hit to the hand, that would suck in the cold.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. This one is: would you rather be a 5-star recruit who never lives up to the hype? Or this one's easy. Or a walk-on who becomes a legend. I'm gonna take the walk-on who becomes a legend all day, bro. That's not like
terrible question by chat. Whatever you're using,
ChatGPT, yeah.
All right, this one actually is. This is where we're gonna figure out who's a team guy and who's not. Would you rather win the Heisman, but never a championship, and you get injured so you don't go pro, or win a title but ride the bench all year and you still don't go pro? So you're not going pro either way. But would you rather take the Heisman, the personal award, playing well until you get hurt, or take the championship with your team, but you're not playing at all?
So, like, I don't play whatsoever. Like, you're just, like, I'm third string.
You're a practice dummy?
You might get in, like, I mean, it doesn't say this, but I'm assuming
you get in.
You might get in like a blowout or something, but, like, you're on the bench. You're not a starter. You're on the bench.
What kind of injury is it?
It doesn't say. It just says you get injured, don't go pro.
ACL, maybe. We'll call it ACL. That's tough. I wonder how big the championship feels if like you get 0 minutes. Like if you're not getting any reps, probably doesn't hit the same as if you're I think I'm gonna
got like the team with you for forever, right? Like that's the thing is you'll be a part of that team forever. There's that side of it. But if you're Heisman, you're gonna have, not that it's all about money, but you will be in the record books forever yourself. Like, technically you are on that team.
The Heisman House commercials, you get to be in those, even if you're not pro.
Yeah.
I think I'm going. This is a tough one. Usually, I would lean championship. I feel like that's better than anything. Being a Heisman winning quarterback, though, that'd be sick. I think I'm going to take the Heisman.
Okay, that's a good way to end it. Yeah, Heisman.
All right.
It's tough. I think I would go with the team, though. I think I would take the
team.
Especially if, like, it doesn't say you can choose the team, but if I can choose that I'm playing for Michigan backup QB Don't see any time, but we still get in.
If I'm
That
backup
means Michigan's
quarterback,
getting another natty. Okay.
if
Yeah.
I'm backup quarterback, it's maybe different. Who was the best bench guy on 2023 Michigan? Probably like Tyler Plotky. Yeah.
He wasn't on that team.
No, I know.
He was not
The
on that team.
best bench guy was
I
probably.
think Alex Bromley was.
Alex Bromley.
I think he
I would
was.
say I'm trying to think of like realistically who the best bench guy was though. I would say maybe Samaj Morgan would be my answer.
Yeah,
Okay. Samaj Morgan.
Samaj
Right.
Morgan. Would you want to be Samaj Morgan?
If I'm winning the Natty, yeah. For the team. This is the difference between us Michigan people and you LSU people, Dak.
Wow. I said Heisman, so
Doing.
I gotta get out of here, boys.
All
Yeah,
right,
good
fellas.
episode, fellas.
Good stuff, fellas. All right, episode 7 in the books. We will be back next week. Some great games. Games to watch out for. Obviously, LSU, first Vandy. We'll talk about Michigan, of course, Washington. Big matchup. Obviously, Ole Miss going on the road to play against Georgia. What other one am I missing? USC, Notre Dame. What else, fellas?
USC, Tennessee, Alabama.
Big one, for sure. All right. Peace.
Just up.
See you, boys. Good
All
time.
right, see you, boys.